How do we create a future in which both humans and nature can survive?
You need all hands on deck helping to solve the problem.
If you want to be the change in the world, you have to cooperate.
We have the possibility to design their future. So let's get started.
Healthy Seas is a non-profit which is focusing on the protections of seas and oceans, and more specifically on the topic of marine litter and ghost nets. Hyundai and Healthy Seas has a cooperation for 4 years now. They enable us to implement high-impact projects in the field of education, cleanups and prevention in about 10 countries in 4 continents. The first big one happened here in Ithaca in 2021. And since then, we extended our scope, and it feels that we are getting closer and closer to a solution. In circular economy, waste is a resource, and so our contribution is to supply raw materials which can enter this system. On the other hand, we are trying to create an example where nonprofits and corporates can enable a circular economy model.
We're living on a finite planet with a growing population, increasing consumption, and so we need to let go of the practices that we had in the past, the way that we consume, the way that we produce. The collaboration between Healthy Seas and Hyundai is definitely a stepping stone to a wider transformation. The definition of the circular economy, which I think is so well illustrated here, eliminate waste and pollution by collecting fishing nets, circulate products and materials by including it into the Hyundai products, restore nature by allowing biodiversity to flourish once you clean up the oceans. Each partner brings different strengths to that collaboration. The more we accumulate these projects, the more the whole system begins to change. A little bit like ripples in a pond.
There's still a lot of work ahead of us, for sure. But this can only be perfect if we all work hand in hand. The resources of our planets are not endless. In the coming years, circular design practices and renewable power will transform interiors and industry. Color and material designers get inspiration from almost everything. One of our really main resources is the nature. Everything after its lifetime becomes a kind of source for something else. Hyundai was very open for such kind of idea. We are really trying step by step shifting our research and development into circular systems. This consistent progress will allow us to reach later on ambitious targets. How can we find new materials? What can we use? And how can it be tested that it has a long-lasting life cycle, even in our vehicles? So it's, of course, an ongoing process. We have bio-paint with some ingredients like corn or rape flowers. Next is this high-gloss paint, and it is done from shredded end-of-life tires. Then we have EcoNyl, which is a recycled nylon yarn. First waste, such as fabric scraps or old fishing nets, is collected, then transporting to a sorting plant. In this waste is sorted and cleaned and then melted. Its purest form, it can be spun into textile or carpet yarn, and this step marks the birth of EcoNyl. So this is a perfect product for a circularity economy. Every industry, no matter how big or small, needs partnerships like Hyundai has with Healthy Seas.
I do believe that collaboration is key to success. Corporates have the power to lead by example.
I like to think of myself as a possibilist, believing that the future is always possible to change and that we can always make a positive impact.
It's about taking a different path and exploring new ways of acting, new ways of being, and new ways of doing.